Hello and welcome. You're connected to the Eyes Open Network. I just wanted to put together almost a commentary, I guess it will, because I've been, um, following some of the uh, ongoings from Paris and the backlash and the what's happened post the terror attacks. I was at home and I was listening to all this happen, and I thought about, I could post this and I could show you this article and I could show you that article and I could show you this, that, and the other thing. But instead of that, I just thought I'd give you a commentary about it all. And I'm, as I said, I was listening to all this happen and unfold as I was preparing to, go about my regular day and participate in regular everyday life. The stuff we obviously many of us just take for granted, especially when wars are going on around the world. But that's how it goes, isn't it? I mean, in what you'll see in the documentary that will come out from Eyes Open Network will be that the world wars are not created and happen by specific dates. They come out, they happen. The rest of the world continues to live in their almost bliss-like existence, and they. I think that in some people's minds that, when World War II started, so to speak, quote unquote, started, that everybody was at war. No, the soldiers were at war, and the countries were at war, but everybody else just went to work every day and did their own thing and did whatever they needed to do to live every day. There wasn't every single man, woman, and child, gun-toting, running around, having or actively part of the war. So it's not very different here. That's why when people of today's day and age look at me sideways when I talk to them about World War III, they are, well, yeah, it could start. I'm like, no, it's already started. No, it hasn't started yet. We're not all going to go to war, right? Just in Syria, we're not all going to get on a plane and all the whole country's shipping over to Syria. That's not how it works. So anyway, back to Paris. So I was sitting there listening to this, and there was active gunfire while I was still watching. There was a bunch of different bars. There were 4 different locations. There were bars. There was concert hall. There was explosions. There was bodies in the street. There was actual blood flow on the street. It was there was over 100 hostages at the one concert hall. In some of the reports I read, the shooters were calm and they were just randomly selecting people to shoot. There was no, it wasn't a, it was very calculated, and all of them strapped with bombs, and it was definitely an act of terror. Let's not get, but who orchestrated it? That's what the Eyes Open Network wants to talk to you about. Who orchestrated it? The mainstream media jumps all over this kind of thing, and they're definitely feeding you, minute to minute coverage of everything that's going on. But at the same time, somebody has to dig in and find out some other interesting things. One of the things that I found extremely interesting was Mr. I always want to call him Mr. I don't know if it's a lack of respect at this point, but President Obama had made comments about how this was an act of terror, and that it was he had made comments about innocent civilians, about how it was such a terrible act of violence against innocent civilians. And I couldn't help but sit back in my chair and think, how dare you, President Obama, take the opportunity to capitalize on the terror events that are happening in Paris. That is, of course, if you haven't already been a part of setting it all in motion. But the image that you're trying to portray to the innocent American citizens, that you have some sort of concern for innocent civilians. You blew up a hospital. It's like documented not that long ago, a month and a half ago, you blew up a hospital. Doctors killed, innocent people killed, tons of them. Right? There's plenty of arguments that you're orchestrated 9/11. Well, I mean, I think there's hundreds of thousands of innocent lives on the hands of American politicians for them to come out and, publicly garner that sympathy vote for, or that pride vote from American citizens that, this is a travesty against innocent civilians. I'm not suggesting it's not. I 100% agree, but I don't think that Mr. Obama has the right to have that conversation. The and then the other part that came around when we were talking in days that have come. I've been watching the news and keeping an eye on all the different, the alternative media, the mainstream media, consulting with the other anchors here at Eyes Open Network, and just conversations going back and forth. And when France made their what's the word I'm looking for? Made their retaliation attack. I thought, okay, well that was pretty quick, and that was pretty, it's interesting. I'm not so surprised. I figured they would, but wait a minute. It turns out that France, that only has one aircraft carrier in its military, positioned and moved that aircraft carrier into the sea off the west coast of my geography. I wish I had. Now is when I wish I had a map for you guys. The east coast or the west coast of Syria. There, they had their aircraft carrier parked in that sea on Friday morning. They moved it there ahead of the attacks. It's just, I guess they're just expecting, or everybody's expecting, especially in the West, that nobody's paying attention and nobody's ever going to say anything. It's just mind-boggling to me. What do you do with an aircraft carrier? You launch fighter jets. And what did they do right after the attack? Launch fighter jets. So did they know the attack was coming? Is this the false flag? Another false flag that is designed to help us get back into the hatred of ISIS? Because Russia sort of tipped the scales a little bit in the favor of the U.S. and the West, and everybody can't do anything about ISIS, so they're doing stuff about ISIS, which they were actually, blowing up U.S. assets. There's some argument that the U.S. has, or the West has created ISIS all unto itself, so that they can unlawfully invade other countries, which Iraq, Syria. Now, of course, there's going to be a lot of blowback here. We got the Islamic State already threatening that there's going to be attacks on Washington and other countries that have been involved in Syrian bombings. Any kind of Syrian air strikes, any countries involved in Syrian airstrikes are going to be suffering the fate of France, as they say. And in France, they're raiding homes now, looking for any more people that might be involved in this attack or helping plan it. It's just for those many people. I told somebody the other day about the fact that aircraft carrier was moved there prior to the attacks, and it was just mind-blowing to them because they don't follow this kind of thing. Their response was alarming because it was like, see, why did you even tell me that? Because now I'm just angry. I'm like, you should be angry. And you should be thinking about it. I said, well, you just rather watch Sunday Night Football? And they're like, yeah, I just want to watch football. I just want to get up and go to work tomorrow. And I was like, oy. That's the reason why they can pull this stuff off. You need to have your eyes open, and you need to be prepared to hear what is really happening. So, on the heels of the Paris shooting and the terrorist attacks, just understand that this is just one more step in the amping up of everything that's going on in the Middle East and the Western push to control the Middle East. I hope that some of what I've said today has been able to help open your eyes. If you want to make some comments below, get a conversation started, let's get one going and see what we can find out and see what everybody's thinking. Again, pass this video on and share it with your with those of you, with those that you think will benefit from it, and let's get people's eyes open and ready to understand what's actually going on in the world. This has been another Eyes Open Network video.